Hello everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Have you ever experienced that overwhelming feeling when a simple moment of kindness, warmth, or love touches your heart so deeply that it makes you stop and question what that feeling really is? Today, we're going to dive into a story filled with healing, warmth, family, and the kind of quiet moments that can bring tears to your eyes. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And let us know where you're watching from and what you feel throughout this story. Your thoughts truly mean a lot to us. The wind had been getting colder these past few days. In the north, that first sharp breath of winter always came without warning. Just a sudden shift in the air, a few dry leaves dancing across the yard, and then the kind of chill that seeped into your bones before you even realized it. After a long day at the farm, Lytuna wrapped a scarf around baby Henry and tucked a jar of freshly made kimchi into her bag. She spent hours making it, carefully tasting, adjusting the spice, hoping it would be good enough for Alex's mother. Tonight, Alex had invited them over for dinner. He said it casually, like it was something normal. "Come eat with me and Mom. She misses Henry." But to Lytuna, moments like this were never casual. They were precious, fragile, and still a little unbelievable. She held Henry tighter as Alex's car pulled up. He stepped out, brushing off the cold air before opening the door for her. "Careful," he said softly. "The road's freezing today." Lytuna nodded, her breath misting in the air. "I brought kimchi for Mom. I hope she likes it." Alex smiled, gentle, proud, the kind of smile that steadied her heart. "She'll love anything you make." The drive to his house was quiet in the most comforting way. Henry slept in Alex's arms the moment they arrived, his tiny face melting against Alex's shoulder as if he had found the safest place in the world. And maybe he had. Inside, the warm yellow light of the living room glowed like a small sun against the cold outside. Alex's mother was sitting on the sofa with a blanket over her legs, rubbing her knees the way she always did whenever the weather changed. "Mom, we're here," Alex said, lowering Henry gently into her embrace. The old woman's face lit up immediately. "Oh, my sweet boy, you're getting chubbier, aren't you?" Then she looked up at Lytuna and smiled, a soft, genuine smile. "You must be tired, child. Come in. Sit. Sit. The cold this year feels harsher than usual." Lytuna placed the jar of kimchi on the table. "I made this for you, Mom. I wasn't sure if the seasoning was right, but I wanted you to try." The older woman touched the jar as though it were something far more valuable than just a dish. "You didn't have to trouble yourself. Thank you, dear." Dinner was simple: braised pork, stir-fried greens, and warm rice. But it felt like a feast. Alex kept glancing at Lytuna, quietly, secretly. Every time she leaned over to help his mother, every time she tucked Henry's blanket, every time she smiled softly at something his mother said. And his eyes would warm, soften, as though all the exhaustion of the day slipped off him little by little. His mother ate slowly, occasionally pressing a hand to her lower back. "Winter is coming early. My joints always ache this time of year." Lytuna looked at her with gentle concern. "Does it hurt a lot, Mom?" The woman chuckled weakly. "Just the usual aches. They come with age." After dinner, while Alex washed the dishes and hummed to himself with Henry on one arm, Lytuna went into the kitchen and looked around quietly. Then, without saying anything, she boiled a pot of water, sliced fresh ginger, and brought out a small wooden basin. Alex's mother blinked in surprise when she placed it in front of her. "Child, what are you doing?" "The wind is too cold today," Lytuna said softly, kneeling beside her. "So I made warm ginger water for you to soak your feet. It helps with pain." "You know this kind of thing too?" "My mother used to do it for me," Lytuna replied, "whenever I was tired." She gently helped the older woman lift her feet into the basin. The steam rose in soft curls, carrying the scent of fresh ginger, warm, healing, soothing. Then, with both hands, Lytuna began massaging the woman's calves, slowly, carefully, as though she was afraid of hurting her. Alex's mother inhaled sharply, not from pain, but from something else, something like emotion pressing up against her chest. "No one," the old woman murmured, voice trembling, "has done this for me in a long time." Lytuna's hands paused for a moment. Then she smiled, a small, humble smile. "You've been alone for many years. You've worked so hard. You deserve to be cared for." Across the room, Alex stood still, dish towel in hand, watching the scene unfold. Henry was cradled against his chest, sleeping with his tiny fingers curled around Alex's shirt. And in that quiet moment, something inside him softened to the point of breaking. The woman he loved was kneeling on the cold floor, massaging his mother's tired legs. The woman he loved was healing a loneliness that even he hadn't known how to heal. The woman he loved had become a piece of home he never knew he was missing. He swallowed hard, blinking away the sting in his eyes. His mother reached out and rested a frail hand on Lytuna's head. "You're a good girl. Such a good girl." Lytuna lowered her gaze, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm just doing what I can." When she finished, she dried the woman's feet with a soft towel, careful and respectful. Alex stepped forward and gently squeezed her shoulder. "You don't have to do all this," he said quietly. "I know," she replied, "but I want to." And that simple sentence hit Alex harder than anything else. Outside, the northern wind howled against the windows, but inside, the house felt warm in a way that had nothing to do with the heater. It felt like family, like a future gently stitching itself together in real time. Alex's mother leaned back, her eyes half closing from comfort. "My legs haven't felt this light in years," she murmured. "Stay for tea before you go. The night is cold." Lytuna looked up, meeting Alex's gaze. "Should we?" Alex didn't answer immediately. Instead, he shifted Henry in his arms, brushed a kiss onto the boy's forehead, and said softly, "Let's stay. It's been a long time since the house felt this warm." Lytuna smiled, soft, shy, glowing. And in that moment, Alex knew. If healing had a face, it looked exactly like this. The kettle whistled softly in the kitchen, a thin trail of steam curling upward like a gentle invitation. Lytuna stood up to pour tea while Alex settled beside his mother, shifting Henry carefully so the baby could sleep more comfortably against his chest. The old woman looked between them, her son with a child in his arms, and Lytuna moving quietly around the kitchen, and her heart softened in a way she hadn't felt in years. The soft clinking of teacups echoed through the warm living room. When Lytuna returned with the tray, she placed a cup in front of Alex's mother and whispered, "Drink this while it's still hot. Ginger and honey, they'll help with the cold." The older woman nodded, her eyes glistening with gratitude. "You're too thoughtful, child. I can't remember the last time someone fussed over me like this." Lytuna laughed shyly. "It's nothing, Mom. I enjoy taking care of people." Alex watched them quietly from the sofa, the warmth of the scene settling deep in his chest. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It wasn't the kind of happiness that demanded attention. It was the quiet, ordinary kind. The kind he had always longed for, but never dared to imagine he could have. Henry stirred against his chest, letting out a tiny sigh. Alex stroked the boy's hair gently. "Your mom cooked delicious kimchi today," he whispered to the child, even though Henry was fast asleep. "And you missed dinner, little guy. Next time, we'll save you the best piece of pork, okay?" Lytuna looked up from pouring tea, catching the softness in Alex's voice. It made her heart squeeze unexpectedly. Every time she saw him like this, with Henry, with his mother, with her, she felt a quiet ache inside her chest, an ache she was afraid to name. The heater hummed softly as the cold outside grew harsher. Wind brushed against the windows like a restless hand. But inside, the atmosphere was warm, glowing, almost sacred. They sipped tea together. Alex's mother spoke slowly, her voice filled with the gentle wisdom of someone who had lived through many winters. "Life is hard for everyone," she said, looking at Lytuna. "But for you, I know it's been harder. Raising a child alone, working day and night, that takes strength and patience and a heart bigger than most." Lytuna lowered her eyes, her fingers tightening around her teacup. "There were times I thought I couldn't handle it," she admitted. "Times when I felt lost. But Henry, he kept me going. And meeting Alex and you, it's one of the biggest blessings in my life." The older woman's eyes softened. "You've brought warmth into this home. I hope you know that." Alex shifted, unable to hold back anymore. "Mom is right." Lytuna looked at him, really looked, and in his eyes, she saw something that made her breath catch. "You've changed everything," Alex said quietly, as if confessing something that had been sitting in his heart for too long. "Before you came, I was always tired, always stressed. Work drained me. Coming home felt empty." He paused, adjusting Henry gently. "But now, just knowing I'll see you after a long day, it heals me, Lytuna, more than you know." Her lips parted slightly, stunned by the sincerity in his voice. His mother watched the two of them, her heart swelling with a mix of hope and silent joy. Lytuna tried to steady her voice. "Alex, I don't know what to say." "You don't have to," he murmured. "Your presence says enough." For a moment, no one spoke. The room felt suspended in time, held gently in the warmth of everything unspoken. Henry shifted again, and Alex chuckled softly. "Look at him, sleeping so peacefully. He's already part of our family, isn't he?" Lytuna's eyes welled before she could stop them. She wiped quickly, but Alex noticed. He rose, walked over, and handed Henry to her. "Here," he said softly. "He should sleep on you. He sleeps better with your heartbeat." She cradled the boy, her fingers brushing against Alex's. A small spark, warm, familiar, passed between them. She didn't pull away. Instead, she whispered, "Thank you for always being here. For us." Alex's mother leaned back in her chair, watching the two with a smile so tender it brought tears to her own eyes. "Young people," she murmured, "you two look like you were always meant to sit together like this." Lytuna flushed while Alex lowered his gaze, trying to hide the smile tugging at his lips. The clock ticked softly in the background. Then the older woman spoke again, voice quiet but filled with longing. "If only Henry could stay a little longer. The house feels so lively whenever he's here." Lytuna swallowed. "We can come more often, Mom, whenever you want." Alex added gently. We'll make it a routine. Every week. The woman nodded, clearly touched. That would make me very happy. As the night grew deeper, the warmth of the tea and the basin of ginger water seemed to melt away the old woman's aches, and perhaps something more. Years of loneliness, seasons of silent evenings. Lytuna cleaned the basin, dried it, and placed it carefully by the wall. Alex quietly gathered Henry's blanket and draped it warmly over the sleeping child. When Lytuna returned to the living room, she found Alex waiting by the door with Henry in his arms, but his mother stopped them before they left. "A moment," she said softly. They turned. The older woman stepped forward and wrapped her hands around Lytuna's. "Child," she said, voice trembling, "thank you for tonight. Thank you for caring for me, as if I were your own mother." Tears filled Lytuna's eyes instantly. She shook her head. "You've always welcomed me kindly. It's the least I can do." Alex's mother cupped her face with warm, fragile palms. "You deserve happiness, my dear, and I pray life gives you back everything you give others." Something inside Lytuna cracked open, releasing a wave of emotion she'd held back for years. Loneliness, gratitude, longing, fear, hope, all pushing against her walls. Alex stepped closer, placing a steadying hand on her back. "Let's get you home," he whispered gently. She nodded, wiping her tears. Outside, the winter wind was sharp, but somehow, it didn't feel cold anymore. As they walked to the car, Alex opened the door for her and tucked a blanket around both her and Henry. The moment he closed the door, he looked through the glass at the two of them. Lytuna with her hair slightly messy from the wind, and Henry sleeping peacefully in her arms, and he felt his heart settle into a quiet certainty. He could see it clearly now. The home he wanted, the family he dreamed of, the warmth he never knew he needed. As the car pulled away, the house lights behind them faded slowly, but the warmth inside the car wrapped around them like a soft embrace, and for the first time in a long time, all three of them felt it. A sense of belonging, a sense of healing, a sense of future, together.